Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? As you know that we have completed our syllabus of November. In that month we had just one unit, the flying trunk, and we have completed that chapter with reading, explanation and exercises. Now we have the month of December. In the month of December, we have two chapters, unit number 12 and 13. And today I'm going to explain unit 12. First, I'll give you the reading. Then after, I'll explain you the chapter. Hope you will get. Now let's move on our unit 12 reading. Unit 12, Rice Bowl Wishes is the topic. An old lady by the name of Ni Yu had adopted 3 11-year-old boys from an orphanage. Their names were Landwa, Swaja and Go Sir. Lady Ni Yu dressed Landwa and Swaja in fine clothes, and she sent them to school to get a proper education. Go Sir, who was blind, was treated like a servant. He was dressed in old red clothes and fed leftover food. He was required to attend the old lady's needs and not sent to school. One night, while everyone was asleep, a fire broke out in the rice storage room. It soon spread to the main house. Go Sir yelled, warning everyone the moment he sensed the heat from the fire. Landwa and Swaja, awakened by the call, got up and rushed out of the house. Go Sir's new Lady Niu had difficulty moving about on her own. He hurried to help her. Fire was now circling around them. Quick, Lady Niu, let your eyes be my guide. With Go Sir carrying Lady Niu and Lady Niu giving directions, they were soon out of danger. You risked your life to save mine. You are a brave and unselfish boy. Go Sir, I have finally found a worthy recipient for the rice bowl. I can rest in peace now, the old lady said. Then she handed a rice bowl to Go Sir. The rice bowl can grant wishes. You may make one wish every year, 2 every other year, or 3 every year. Should the rice bowl be broken, all that it has granted will be lost. Take care of it. Wish wisely. Then she took her last breath and shut her eyes forever. Landua and Sawjaw left Go Sir to bury the old lady by himself. Before he buried her, Joseph said, "Sadly, I wish I could see. Then I would have a memory of her." No sooner had he finished wishing when Joseph's wish came true. His eyes opened and he could see, was overjoyed. He enrolled himself in school, got a job. At a local store, he started to rebuild the house. The intense heat and fumes from the fire must have opened his eyes. The people in the village speculated. Landor and Sojo, on the other hand, did not accept such an explanation. They went to ask Joseph. When he told them about the rice bowl, they insisted that he share the rice bowl with them. Joseph gladly agreed, and he gave them the same advice the old lady had given him. "What are your wishes?" Joseph asked. "A house with plenty of food to eat at all times," Landor answered. "It would be nice if we could get high grades in school without studying hard," Sojo added. Just as they had wished, there a house stood right across the old lady's that had just burned down. In it was plenty of food to be found in the storage room and on the dining table. Landor and Sojo each picked up a pear to eat. Instantly, two more pears appeared to replace the ones they had eaten. They then found themselves able to solve complicated multiplications and division problems without taking a lesson. This is just what we want. We don't ever have to go to school or work or be hungry. Ever, and that was exactly what they did. They were happy to be sitting around eating, playing and resting their lazy bodies day after day. Joseph was also happy, for he was doing what he loved most. Learning, he read and studied all he could. 3 years flashed by. It was time for the boys, now 14 years old, to each make his second wish. "What do you wish for?" Joseph asked. "A house of my own by the river with a chest full of gold," Landor answered. This the rich Paul granted. "I wish also for a house of my own, only larger than Landor's. Instead of by the river, it shall be on top of the hill, and 2 chests full of gold." Sojo expressed his wish. This the rice ball granted. "I would like to have a library full of books, many books enough to keep me busy for the next 3 years," said Joseph, smiling. This the rice ball granted. Landor and Sojo laughed. Books you cannot them or buy fancy things with them. Books are but volumes of dull words. They remarked. George went on to spend the next 3 years reading while still attending school and working at the local store. Lantour and Sojo went to live in their own houses with chests full of gold. They spent the next 3 years playing, eating, and resting their lazy bodies. It was then time for the boys, now 17 years old, to make their third wishes. Landor and Sojo promptly arrived at Joseph's door. Landor greedily requested, "I want a mansion to replace the house I have. The following must come with it: one room full of gold, a beautiful and well-behaved wife who will bear my many healthy and strong sons, and a title for me. I wish to be the most successful and the smartest governor this village has ever known." So John greedily requested, "And for you, Joseph," they asked, "I would like to have more books." Joseph answered without hesitation. Landor and Sojo laughed, shook their heads, and said, "Will you ever learn to be smart?" The rice bowl granted all 3 wishes. Landor and Sojo were pleased with their new life arrangements. As for Joseph, he continued to read, study, and work as hard as he had done before. On his 20th birthday, he acquired a job as a teacher. He also married the daughter of a store owner. It was time for the young men to make their 4th wishes. By this time, Landor and Sojo each had 2 sons, which wisely advised Joseph, "I wish to keep the rice bowl to myself. It shall grant wishes only to me." Landor said hurriedly, "No, it shall grant wishes only to me," Sojo shouted, and he reached out to grab the bowl. "I wished for it first," Landor argued, struggling with Sojo, fighting for the rice bowl. Clink, K-L-I-N-K, clink, the rice bowl fell to the floor, where it shattered into many pieces. "What have you done?" Joseph yelled. Then he cried out, "He cannot see, I cannot see." The rice bowl had taken Joseph's eyesight away as quickly as it had granted it to him. 9 years ago, all the books vanished as well. Landor and Sojo rushed off to check on their own possession, but they found only weeds and wildflowers. Where their mansions had been, their wives and children were also nowhere to be seen. There was not one piece of gold left anywhere. The real nightmare came when Lentor and Sawjaw discovered that they had lost their positions. Instead of the well-known and successful governor and merchant, they were nobody. In fact, they were no longer able to read or write or do simple arithmetic. When Landor and Sawjaw had the Joser had managed to keep his teaching job, they went to see him. "How is it that you have lost your eyesight and all the books, but you are still able to read and write?" questioned Landor. "And you haven't lost your wife?" Sawjaw puzzled. "My eyesight was granted by the rice bowl, thus it was its to claim. However, what I have seen with my eyes, it can never deprive me of. The books were given to me by the rice bowl, so they were its to take away. But what I have read and learned is mine to keep. The knowledge I have acquired the rice bowl has no power to claim. The same goes for my wife. I did not ask the rice bowl for her. She is very big, as real as you can, and I." Landor and Sawjaw learned of their stupidity and selfishness. They were very sorry and ashamed. They became the oldest students in the school, but they were the most dedicated. They had learned that life was what they chose to make it of it. They no longer wished to waste another precious moment. Master Joser was recognized as one of the wisest and the most caring teachers ever to teach in China. There on his desk always sat an ordinary rice bowl, which obviously had been glued back together from many broken pieces. Okay, students, I have read out the chapter first. Hope you understand the pronunciation of the words. And now I'm going to start the explanation of this chapter page-wise. Now start the explanation. In this chapter, the old lady, her name was Niyu. She had adopted 3 children whose ages are 11 years old boys from orphanage, and she thought their name Landor, Sawjaw, and Joser. The lady dressed the 2 boys, Landor and Sawjaw, in fine dress clothes, but one boy who was blind, she did not treat it like that. She serves like a servant. His name was Joseph. She sent Lando and Sojo to school to get a proper education. But Joseph didn't go to the school for education. She dressed them, Lando and Sojo, in a well-dressed, but Joseph in old ragged dress. Even Joseph fed leftover food, and he required to attend all the ladies' needs. And the two boys, Lando and Sojo, was living in a luxury life. They were treated by their real son. But in one night, when they were sleeping in the house, and a fire broke out all the house from rice storage room, and soon spread the whole house. Joseph yelled. He was warning to everyone to sense that heat from the fire. He was feeling the heat that somewhere is firing. Lando and Sojo awakened by calling him, and rushed out the house. But that was the difficult to Niyu, who had difficult to move herself. So Joseph was very hurried to help her. He thinks that if she was in the circling around the fire, what would he do? So he quickly went to help that lady Niyu, and he guided Joseph carrying Lady Yu, and he said the directions that she should soon get out of the danger. But that was the risk of life of Joseph. But he didn't care his life, that it will be the risk. But he was finally found the recipient for the rice bowl. He found the rice bowl for the lady Niyu and her two sons. After got the bowl, the lady Niyu told the story of the rice bowl, why that bowl was important for her. The rice bowl was the magic bowl who completed their all wishes that she could. So she wants her children's that they make their wishes to rice bowl, and the rice bowl will complete their wishes. She told about the rice bowl that you can make 4 wishes in your life as your age stages went up. Every year, in every 3 or 3 years, you can make a wish. Whatever you want to get, the rice bowl will complete your wishes too. One child want to pass his exam without hard work and without studying. The second wants same, and third Joseph want an school job and want to read out books, and he wants his eyesight back. So the rice bowl completed their all wishes. Then after they make the second wish, one of them children wants his house, and second also want his house, and third one Joseph want a library with full of books. So second wish is also completed by rice bowl, and the third wish, they want a house by the river just with full of gold, and the second one want a larger than house lotus instead of the river, and he wants top of the hill and two chests full of gold. That was the Joe expressed wish. So Sir Joe wants a library full of many books, enough to keep busy for next 3 years. So he was making a smile that the rice ball granted their wishes. And he wants also a fancy books and fancy things, but volumes of dull words, they remarked. After that, Sir Joe spent the next 3 years by reading all the books and working in the school and local stores. But Lantua and Sawjaw lives in their own house just full of gold. Next 3 years. After 3 years, they were eating, playing and resting little bodies. But after 17 years, they again make their third wish. Lantua and Sawjaw promptly arrived at Joser's door. So Lantua was greedily quest. He wants a mansion replace of house. He wants a room with full of gold and beautiful well-behaved wife and many healthy strong son with the title of him. But the second Joe was also greedily quest. He also want mansion, but the 2 rooms full of gold, wife, and better behave than Landua's healthy strong son. The wish was the most respectful and smartest merchant this village has ever known, and Lord wants to make himself a governor of the town.